Have you ever woken up one morning, looked into the mirror, and realized you no longer know why you're alive? It's not sadness, not depression, but a deep, ancient exhaustion, as if something inside you has walked too far for too long, and now only a thin breath remains, hollow, tired, empty. You still eat, talk, laugh, but inside, everything feels void. You devour spiritual books, listen to guided meditations, follow 100 gurus talking about peace and cosmic energy. Yet the more you hear, the heavier the mind becomes. The more you learn, the more the eye grows. Part 1. The Exhausted Journey, when seeking becomes a burden. In the age of self-help, humanity lives inside a pandemic of searching. Not for jobs, not for money, but for a reason to exist. And that hunger itself is the disease. It keeps us running endlessly, from meditation retreats to healing workshops, from NLP courses to silent temples in the mountains. People say, return to yourself. But no one ever tells you, who is this yourself? We try to fix a machine without knowing who is operating the machine. The modern world has turned every person into a self-improvement project, with KPIs for the soul, deadlines for enlightenment. You wake up, open your phone, and the flood begins. 5 steps to awaken your energy. 7 secrets to open your chakras. 10 ways to become happier. But while watching, you only feel more broken. Modern humans are not just tired from work. They're tired because they've never rested from themselves. The mind has become an endless search engine. Who am I? Am I on the right path? Have I awakened enough yet? Even in meditation, they silently wait for a result, a state, a sign, a light to confirm, yes, I'm progressing. But that very I who wants progress is the biggest obstacle to freedom. It's like trying to wipe dust from a mirror without seeing that the hand itself is what makes it dirty. People speak of no self, emptiness, nirvana, as if they were distant destinations. But the Buddha never said, go and reach somewhere. He simply pointed out, the mind is bound by what it tries to hold. When you want to understand, you lose direct seeing. When you want to achieve, you lose what is already here. The seeker of truth is often just the ego wearing a spiritual disguise. The subtler it becomes, the more dangerous it is, because now the I no longer boasts with arrogance, but hides beneath the robe of the awakened one. Look around. The outer world mirrors the inner one. We rush toward AI, data, and digital mastery, but still cannot answer the simplest question, who is the one looking at the screen? We can build robots that feel emotions, yet still don't understand our own. Every day we log into dozens of platforms, but rarely log into our consciousness. And so we keep swinging, between exhaustion and hope, between fake awakenings and real confusion. One day, when you no longer have the strength to keep seeking, when every book, every mantra, every method feels too heavy to carry, that is not failure. That is the beginning of freedom. Because only when the seeker disappears can truth finally appear. When there are no more questions to hold, you don't become enlightened, you simply become life itself. Sometimes, what takes us furthest from truth is the feeling that we're close to it. Be honest. How many times have you sat in meditation, and when the mind suddenly became calm, the breath steady, the thoughts silent, you whispered inwardly, yes, this is it. That moment, pure, clear, still. Yet the instant you thought, I must keep this, it vanished. Like trying to hold a snowflake in your bare hand, the tighter you grasp, the faster it melts. And then, addiction begins. Not to pleasure, not to wealth, but to the sweetness of your own stillness. Part 2. The Trap of States, Addiction to Meditation, and the Special Feeling. Meditation was meant to be the art of letting go, but humanity has turned it into a race to achieve, a race to reach the lake of silence, a race to feel closer to awakening. Someone experiences a deep session once and begins to believe they're on the path. They repeat the same posture, the same candle, the same room, trying to recreate that moment of peace. But what they don't realize is this: the very effort to recreate kills the real. The stillness you long to return to has already died the moment you named it. Truth never repeats itself. Each time you try to keep the light, you only hold on to the memory of light, not light itself. The ego doesn't only hide in pride, it also hides in spiritual humility. You say, "I don't desire anything, I just meditate." But who is saying that? You say, "I'm no longer attached." But who is admiring this detachment? The moment you know I am calm, calmness has already gone. Because true peace does not know itself as peace. It's like a person who's deeply asleep. If they say, "I'm sleeping so well," the sleep has already broken. In the same way, when you notice I am silent, the silence has turned into awareness of me being silent. That's the most dangerous disguise of the ego. It becomes the one who has awakened. This era is full of awakened beings. They speak of energy, of high vibrations, of the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimensions. But if you listen closely, they all speak with the same tone. I know. The feeling of I know is the most seductive illusion of spirituality, because it convinces you that you're free when you've only built a more refined prison. Now you're no longer chained by money or fame, but by tranquility itself. You no longer crave cars, but you crave deep meditation. You no longer chase success, but you chase enlightenment. Only now, the old ego has changed robes. It wears the garment of the seeker. And you're still chasing happiness, only on a higher floor. Here's the paradox. The more you try to be still, the more restless you become. Because the one trying to reach stillness is the restlessness itself. You don't meditate to see clearly. You meditate because you fear chaos. You fear emotion, you fear pain, you fear being fully alive. But the Buddha never said, avoid thoughts. He said, see thoughts as thoughts. Don't fight the mind, because in the act of fighting, a new I appears. I am meditating, and the wheel begins again. When you stop trying to meditate correctly, meditation begins on its own. When you stop seeking stillness, stillness arrives, like dew forming on a leaf after the rain. No more I am meditating, no more I am seeing. Only life breathing and awareness being aware, with no owner between them, and there you finally come home. Not to a monastery, but to the home of now. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when you no longer have the energy to search, and no reason left to hold on. It's not that you've become enlightened, you've simply exhausted every effort. You're tired of even trying to be peaceful. You're tired of being the one who practices. And then, you let go. Not by will, but by utter depletion. Like someone falling through open sky, nothing left to grasp, and yet no fear of falling, because suddenly, you realize there was never any ground to begin with. Part 3. Letting go. The moment emptiness reveals itself. It's just another ordinary morning. No incense, no bells, no ritual, only breath, light, distant sounds of life. And suddenly there's no one meditating, no one being mindful, no one watching the breath. Everything still moves, but there's no center to refer back to. Sound doesn't arrive at the ear, it passes through a space of nothingness. Light doesn't strike the eyes, it diffuses into the air like mist. There is no one in between to gather it all into an experience. And within that absence of someone, everything becomes crystal clear, without a single beam of light. At that point you can't say, I saw emptiness, because if there's still an I, then what's seen is already divided. Emptiness isn't something you see, it's what remains when the one who sees disappears. No subject, no object, no past to compare, no future to reach, only pure presence, complete absolute. The sutras say, neither coming nor going, neither moving nor still. Emptiness isn't void, it's the transparency of reality, where everything appears but nothing is held. The instant you say, this is it, it's gone. The mind that tries to name it has already fallen out of it. True letting go makes no sound. There's no I am letting go, no I am achieving. It's like a person holding a burning rope. They don't need to be told to release it. They drop it instantly because they see the fire. In the same way, when you truly see that every grasping brings pain, the hand of consciousness opens on its own, effortlessly, naturally. And in that instant, everything collapses. The teacher, the student, the enlightened, and the ignorant. Only life itself continues, ownerless, thoughtless, free. After that moment, nothing really changes in the way the world expects. You still eat, sleep, laugh, cry, but something subtle has shifted. There's no one standing at the center of it anymore. When anger comes, you see it arise, then fade. When sadness visits, it blooms, then dissolves. No one to resist, no one to cling. Emptiness doesn't come and go as a state. It has always been there. The silent background that can't be hidden, only forgotten when you're too busy naming the clouds drifting across it. From the moment there's no I am seeking, all seeking dissolves like smoke in the wind. There's no one left to awaken, and so awakening can finally be. Not the gaining of something, but the absence of someone to gain. The world remains, sounds, lights, people passing by, but something deep inside no longer moves. A stillness not created, but always present, waiting only for you to stop trying to see it. That is emptiness revealed, not as a realm to reach, but as the natural state of being itself. People often ask, after realizing emptiness, how do you live? It sounds like a simple question, but in truth, it secretly pulls you back into the world of someone who has seen. Because only the one who believes they've awakened still wonders how to live after awakening. But the truth is, when seeing truly happens, there is no seer, and therefore no after. Life simply continues, like a river flowing through its bed, no one steering, and no one left to maintain the flow. Part 4, Living After Seeing, Peace that requires no maintenance. Before, you sat in meditation trying to keep the mind calm. You tried to silence thoughts to protect stillness as if afraid it might vanish. But now you realize, the one trying to keep still is the one causing the ripples. Like someone clutching the surface of a lake, afraid the wind will disturb it, not seeing that their own hands are the wind. Peace cannot be held, because to hold it is to lose it. As long as there's someone trying to maintain it, that peace depends on conditions. When no one tries to keep the mind still, the mind rests by itself, like water becoming calm when no hand stirs its depth. Realizing emptiness doesn't turn you into a statue. You still feel anger, joy, sadness, love, but no one stands between them anymore. Anger comes, you see it. Sadness arises, you see it. No interference, no judgment, and so everything dissolves naturally, like clouds fading in sunlight. The sutra says, let your mind be like the sky, where all things pass, yet the sky itself is unmoved. You begin to live like that, not trying to be still, but simply having no one left who can be disturbed. You don't need to remind yourself to be mindful, for life itself has become mindfulness. Awareness no longer needs to be named, it simply is. After seeing, you still walk among the world. You still drive, message friends, laugh with strangers, read the news, wars, crises, chaos, noise, but something subtle has changed. Nothing hooks you anymore. The news can roar, yet within, silence remains. Not because you've become indifferent, but because you see through all waves to the ocean beneath. You help others, but not to be good. You act with compassion, but not to be holy. Your actions arise naturally, as effortlessly as breath. That is egoless compassion, where there is no giver and no receiver, only giving itself. Once, you longed for liberation. You imagined a goal, a nirvana to be reached. But now you see, the desire for freedom is itself a cage. Each time you say, I want to be free, you forge another chain. When this is seen, the seeking ends, and freedom begins, not because you achieved it, but because there's no one left to achieve. What you called enlightenment is simply the disappearance of the one chasing it. Now, you no longer practice living, you just live. No need to label it as spiritual. No need to strain to stay aware, because life has always been awake. You eat when hungry, sleep when tired, love when love comes, rest when stillness arrives. No one in the middle trying to manage. That is peace, not maintained, but never lost. Enlightenment, in the end, is nothing more than living fully, moment by moment, with no one standing outside to witness it. And then everything returns to what it has always been, ordinary, simple, and holy within that very ordinariness. The final question everyone wants to ask is, so then, who becomes enlightened? And that question itself is the last wall between you and truth. Because as long as there's someone, there is still a center, a doer, an achiever, a receiver of reward. But truth has no achiever. There is no enlightened one. There is only enlightenment itself, when the seeker is no longer there to seek. When the candle goes out, no one dies. It is only the flame returning to the sky. Part 5. No one enlightened, when life recognizes itself. Many travel far on the path of practice, only to get trapped in the subtlest form of ego, the one who believes they've transcended ego. They no longer say, I succeeded. They say, I have let go. They no longer take pride in wealth or status. They take pride in being awakened. It is the ego wearing the robe of awareness, quiet, refined, but still there. It no longer craves fame or power. It craves recognition as the one who is seen. That's when the true journey must dissolve, because even the traveler has no ground left to stand on. A real flash of awakening only happens when you stop asking, how do I see? Because the asker is the shadow itself. When the question dies, light appears. Seeing is not an act. It is not I am seeing. It is presence without a center, where the seer and the seen vanish into one. There is no boundary, no me and it, only what is. Like the wind that doesn't know it's blowing, the wave that doesn't know it's rising, the sunlight that doesn't know it shines. It simply moves. And in that movement, all notions of who is doing dissolve. When there is no seer, life recognizes itself. Not as two things meeting, but as water realizing it was always water. Every breath, every gesture becomes transparent. No one is directing, yet everything unfolds in perfect harmony. You speak, but there is no speaker. You listen, but there is no listener. Everything happens within pure spaciousness. And when I am living disappears for the first time, life is truly being lived. People often fear that if the I disappears, they will lose everything: love, meaning, individuality. But paradoxically, when the owner dissolves, everything becomes more radiant. Love is no longer an exchange, but a natural fragrance of existence. Joy doesn't come from achievement, but from the simplicity of breathing, walking, being. You are no longer living life, you are life. No one gains anything, so nothing can ever be lost. When there's nothing left to hold, everything returns to its rightful place, like clouds melting into the sky, like a drop returning to the ocean. When someone asks, "Are you enlightened?" you smile, because there is no one to be enlightened, nor is there anyone left to be unenlightened. There is only awareness itself, silent, seeing through these eyes, hearing through these ears, breathing through this body, but belonging to no one. When the enlightened one disappears, all division disappears with it. No path, no destination, only reality unfolding, simple, vast, nameless. And you realize no one ever found the light. There has only ever been light, and it has never been lost.